Godwin Opara.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, here to introduce your keynote speaker. You may know her as your Nocia treasurer, but I know her as the love of my life. I also know her as the mother of our 5 children and 8 grandchildren. She has over 40 years of accounting and finance experience, both government and the corporate sector. And she's the engine of the house. He said the man is the head of the house, but she's the neck. Without the neck, the head can't move anymore. She helped me start an engineering firm about 30-something years ago. The firm that just started as a startup business and grew because of our hard work up to over 300 employees at least. Happy to you, as I said, the love of my life, Dr. Margaret Nocia Convention.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I know, the independent chapter is doing very well, but they cannot beat Maryland. I don't know how you can cover this topic in 20 minutes. I'm going to try, and then I think I will give a little bit more time for questions. I know we have to ask a lot of questions. The lady from yesterday did a good job. She did a good job, but she went to insurance and marketing her product. I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and wove, insurance, taxes, and then retirement. Actually, I'm going to emphasize on retirement because that's what we need. Everything, if you've been in this country, you know how prepared they are of everything. Give them a topic, they will research it to death. We don't do that. We don't do that. If you ask a couple of us, are you prepared for retirement? They will tell you what you mean. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to read about a couple of slides. I'm going to read some slides, and then I'm going to present, how, some of the tools we have, like budgeting, and sinking fund and all those things, how it helps us prepare for retirement. And we should be prepared for retirement because we are all going there. Some of us are already retired. I know Dr. Nocia is retired, but he's more active than everybody here. I know Dr. Kacha is retired, but at 6 o'clock he's up already, sending out texts and calling people. Well, no, you are not retired. My husband is retired, but at 6 o'clock he's up, doing something in the office.
Okay.
So
He won't let it go.
So I'm going to read a couple of slides, and then what I will do is introduce some of them. So can you put on the light for just here? Right, just like retirement. Some people are scared that they won't have the income that they have before, and then some of them will be scared that they might have a health issue that's going to deplete whatever it is that they saved. Actually, for everybody, retirement is a life-changing transition. For many people, retirement is exciting because of those two things I said, and for others, it's stressful because of those two things at the bottom. So, but if we plan, then we can retire, and it shouldn't be complicated. So, slide 3. Retirement requires careful planning. You plan for it. To be retired, you have to prepare financially for retirement so that you can maintain your quality of life. If you do those two things, it will be very exciting for you. But if you don't do it properly, it will be very stressful. So the question you will ask yourself is, before, a couple of years before you, am I ready to retire? If I'm ready to retire, when? When should I retire? And how much money do I need? If you write out how much you need, then do you have a quantifiable objective and all those to achieve that? I need $1 million. $1 million to retire. Do you have what it takes to get that $1 million? And if you have what it takes to get that $1 million, how are you going to protect it so that if you have any life stressful things, you won't deplete your money? Slide. So many people have concerns. Do I have enough money? If you decide that you are going to retire in 2 years, you have enough money to retire. Am I too late to start preparing for it now? Am I too late to get that money? What if there's an emergency? What am I going to do? Am I qualified for Social Security? And if you are qualified, do you know how it works? Those are some of the things that we have to do, before we retire. So it's never too late for us to start preparing now, as at now, to retire. So these are some of the questions you have to ask yourself. When do I plan to retire? A year, 2, 3, and then do I have that money that I will need when I retire? Have I saved that much, or do I have investments that's going to cover when I retire? Have I paid off my mortgage? I'm going to come back to that. Have I paid off my mortgage? The reason why I keep, when I advise people, especially people from us, mortgage. You know why? Because the highest or the most expensive debt that you will have is your mortgage. And if you don't pay it off and then you retire, everything you are going to get, whether it's the Social Security, whether it's your pension plan from your work, is going to go to paying your mortgage. And that's why you see some people, they become house poor, what I call house poor. Because you have this big mortgage and you cannot pay for it. So pay off your mortgage, or at least have the assets that you can use to pay it off. That way, whatever you get from, if you have a roof over your head, whatever you get from Social Security or whatever, it will go towards taking care of yourself. So that's a question. Have you paid off your mortgage? Then, your retirement needs. Some people, when they retire, they want to travel. So how many trips are you going to do in a year? Dr. Niels is swimming. How many trips you want to do in a year? How much will they cost? So how can I get that money to do those trips? To be happy. You know, because the most important thing is for us to be happy. Are you currently saving? If you are planning to retire, are you currently saving your money? So another part is, if you are saving, where are you putting those money? For now, if I ask, how many accounts do you have? People will say 2. 1, 2. But I'm going to advise you to get about 4. You know why? So that you will nickname those accounts, or you will label them for what they are for. I like for everybody here to have a savings account, which I'm sure everybody have that. To have a checking account, I know everybody have that. The 2 that I would like for you guys to get will be a sinking fund and an emergency fund. The reason for those 2 accounts is there are certain things that come up in life. I mean, your car will break down. And what we see is some people will use their credit card to pay for it. But if you have an emergency fund or a sinking fund, you will use the money that is in those 2 accounts to pay for those things. Slide. Unplanned stuff. Your car broke down. You need your money from your emergency fund to fix it. What else do you use for your emergency fund? You go to the hospital, and then your deductible is this amount. Then you use money there to pay. And then you have a sinking fund for planned stuff. Your mortgage, property tax, your taxes. So you need to pay those funds. So if you know how much those things will cost you in a year, that's how much you are going to put. You put those in those sinking funds. So you need to plan your retirement. These are the basics, you know. You will understand your finances. You will create the tools, which are those 2 funds that I'm telling you. You will create them, and then you will budget effectively. That's one thing we don't do. We do not budget. Over in this US, you know, they budget for everything. That's why when they have their budget, even if their mom and their dad come to them and say, can you lend us $20? They will say, no, I don't have that. And the reason why they don't have that is because they are looking at their budget. All their pay, they've already budgeted for it. They've already put everything, you know, they've already named what they are going to use that penny to do. So when you ask them, they will tell you it's not in the budget, which is exactly what I tell all the people in Nigeria. Because can you give me this? No, it wasn't in the budget. When I was coming back, you didn't tell me, so it wasn't in the budget. I'm like, I do in the next one. So that's it. That's right. So you have to have a budget. You know, a budget is a plan. That's what your budget is. It helps you track your spending. You know, it's very easy. You go out, you know, you eat, or you go out, and then you buy something. But you do not, unless you have a budget, unless you are accounting for all those spending, you won't know how much you are spending in a year. I have a co-worker. She likes to go to Starbucks. She'll get a cup. And then at lunch, she will go back to Starbucks and get another cup. So that's, every day she does this, every day she does this. And I'm going, man, I don't think this lady knows how much she's spending on Starbucks. So one day, I just asked her, I said, her name is Donna. I said, Donna, do you even know how much you are spending on Starbucks? She said, well, it's just coffee. I said, okay. So in a day, you are spending over $10. And then for the 26 days in a month, you are spending almost $300. And then for a year, you spend over $3,000. And then she said, what are you talking about? I said, do the math. And then she came back the following day and said, I'm going to stop drinking coffee. Yeah. But an index fund is, managed by a portfolio manager. That's what index fund is. It's a fund that's managed by a portfolio manager. So you can mirror the S&P 500. That's how index funds work. So, that's a different topic altogether. But or you can do that, you can do index fund, or you can do something as simple as a CD, a money market account, or a high yield savings account. I think personally, if you have your sinking fund and your emergency fund, I would like for it to be in something like that last bullet, like in the savings and fixed income option. That's where they will be, so that they will be easily accessible to you without incurring the fees. So if you put it in a high yield savings account or into a CD, there are some CDs mature in 3 months, and then there are some that are laddered. Some of these banks have, they have some of the CDs that has ladders. You have a portion of it. Let's say you put 50,000 in there. 10,000 will mature in 3 months or something like that, and then another 10,000 will mature in 6 months, something like that. And then another thing that I lady mentioned yesterday that was really good is compounding. Compounding is whatever matured, whatever interest you yield, instead of taking it out, invest it again. It goes back in. By the time you end, you've already double, triple your initial investment. Slide. So, building retirement security, if you do that, you'll be ahead. One, it will be fine. I know some companies have pension plan. Most of us depend on just social security, which, there's not, if you can't save, there's nothing you can do about that. But most of us depend, but you can go back. So you can do a deferred compensation. If your company has a pension plan, a simple IRA. As of now, those IRAs, whether it's a traditional IRA or whether it's a Roth IRA, has a catch-up contribution limit for people who are over 50 years old. So, some of those things we have to take advantage of it. We have to take advantage. That's why, like Trump, as crazy as he is, he's a very good businessman. He's a very good businessman. But anyway, so if you cannot contribute to what your company is doing, which I will advise everybody to look into, get into it, and contribute the highest that will allow you to do. Yes. So the traditional IRA will help you reduce your tax expenses. It will help you reduce your tax expenses. And the way it does that is because before tax. Let's say you make $200 in a month, in a week, and then you are going to contribute $50. What they will do is they will remove that $50 and then tax you on another $50, thereby reducing your taxes for that $100 that you made. But the downside of that is when you withdraw it, then you pay tax at that time. But it's good for you because when you retire, you are not making any more money. So if you are on maybe 25 tax bracket when you were working, when you retire you get to 10, and that's that's what you tax you on at that time. The Roth is a little different because it's pre-tax. So you make that 500, they've already taken a couple of dollars out of your out of it, and then they will put it in for you. And then when you retire, you get it tax-free. Whatever investment, whatever is the yield, you are getting it for tax-free. So that's why, let's say you have a portfolio of $1 million to retire. So for that $1 million, whatever each year you can decide to roll over a certain amount from there into Roth. They will ask you to pay tax at that time, but whatever the growth, you get it for tax free. That's the good thing about Roth. But then again, it depends on how much you are making. I don't know, maybe some people know about that here, but it depends on how much you are making. Even Roth IRA has a lot of changes, so you have to constantly look and make sure that you are understanding what's going on with the legislation and everything. So, some mistakes that we make, it's never too late to start preparing for retirement, and it's never too late to start saving for it. Thank God we have some of those catch-up contributions that we can make. And another mistake that we usually make is carrying too much debt. I know that we have to help our people back in Nigeria. I mean, that is ingrained in us. You will take, I don't even know whether you take an act of Congress to get us to stop. That is true. The act of Congress will help to make us stop thinking like that. To start thinking that we have to take care of ourselves first. We have to take care, even your children. It's good, for you. Even your children, when you are taking care of your children, remember that you have to take care of yourself too. Yeah, because you are very good at taking care of everybody and moving and remembering ourselves. Yes. And you have to give your children, you have to help your children, help them a little bit, and then keep the portion for yourself. So that when you retire, at least you find your time to retire, you are going to get sick, and then you are going to go to the nursing home. And you don't wonder, or some of the things that I've had, then I'll go home. That's another topic, that's another thing. Then I will go home. That's why we are not going home. Because we've always said that we are going to go back to Nigeria. Well, how are you going to go back there at that time when you can't even take care of yourself? You can't take care of yourself. We build all these houses over there, and our children are here, and then at that time, that's when you need to be here, because this is where the medical attention is. You go back there, and you are sick, and then they take you to a hospital in I'm going to go back to Nigeria to go and stay. It's not going to happen. So we have to get that out of our head. So this is the way to strengthen our retirement plan. One, healthy spending habits. Review your budget regularly. We are going to discuss that and then continue to learn. Go back. I know. Let me ask you guys. Can you tell me, by a show of hands, how many of you here have ever consulted? Okay, so continue to learn, about your finances, how it's going to. And then if after each time you've already done that project and it's not making it, you can think of getting a side hustle. Get another job briefly to help, so that your project can fire. And review your savings and your investments periodically. So, those are the small steps. Track your spending, open a savings account, increase your retirement contribution if you can with your employer. Create a goal. Creating a goal is, saying that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, like I said initially. That's very important. If you are going to travel, make sure you have a quantifiable way of meeting that goal and review your monthly expenses. So, those are the small steps that you can do to plan for retirement. Thank you.
Go ahead. Up to yourself.
Very, very
because
your Uber, give me a try. Get drive Uber.
What do you advise for other investments for retired work? Other investments.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. To your income, you can, if you retire, you have a certain amount in your portfolio. You can put it in stocks, bonds, or even ordinary ordinary money market account or savings. You can do that. And then when you go to the bank, even all the banks now have a financial, somebody in the finance. You have to be very careful because some of the financial advisors over here in there, they chunk, they take I call it churning. The reason I call it churning, each time they sell, they buy you a stock or a bond or something, and they charge interest. By the time they finish, your capital is already. If you look at your statement each month, you will see where it's written in bold. Either that it's not finance or by FDIC or one of those languages that they use to. What it's saying is that if your money, you could lose all your money and you are not going to hold them responsible. So be very careful. There are so many outfits out there. You have to go to a reputable financial advisor, somebody that you know, somebody that you've been working with, so that they will not churn all your investments away.
Okay. So, this agent tourism is important in the sense that, you talk to me and Festus and Hyacinth and others. Yeah, I think Ajuju, my brother Joe, are very important. So my question is, if you don't have like, a good amount to start, a sizable portfolio to start, when you want to start later, what would be your response to that? The second thing, which are you putting up?
Well, let me answer the first.
Okay, go ahead.
So, there's no amount that's too small. There's nothing like that. Any amount that you can save each month is working towards something. You can look into CD, even with $5,000, you can buy it. And in about 10 years, you will yield something. That's given. It depends on how you are young, like you. But if you are young, you can afford to be aggressive. You can afford to be aggressive. Go and check. Because you have nothing to do. You still have a lot of time to catch up. But somebody like me cannot be aggressive. I'll be either moderately, balanced, or I'll be conservative. Right? So I will either be moderately, balanced, or conservative. Now somebody like you can be aggressive. You do either 60-40 in stocks.
Well, the other one, all these are like but I just want to make an announcement. Only tourism where I have to go around so that I can take care of myself.
Thank you very much. There was something you did mention about the lady that was here yesterday. Right, yes. Can anybody here tell me what 7702 account is?
IRS.
7702 account.
IRS.
Can you? Huh? That's right. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me piggyback on what the lady said here. And you know, if you really want to save your money, put your money in 7702 account. IUL. I'm sure most of you know what IUL is. universal life insurance. Yes, let me finish. Hold on. I try as much as possible. Some of us don't know the meaning of this. But let me tell you
Questions, right? We didn't ask you to make a presentation. We didn't ask you to make a presentation. Yes. If you're not going to make a presentation, you never do.
Because you have to do that work yourself. They will present certain things to you, and then you will pick what you want. I'm giving you just what you need to do. It's up to you to go and look into it and figure out what you want to do. You can do insurance. I'm very familiar about
So my question is, say you have equity in an already existing property. Say you have 2 homes. Can you take equity out of that home to pay off the equity, to pay out the mortgage on your primary home as a way to retirement?
Absolutely.
Is that a good choice?
Yes, absolutely. There's something called BRRR. I don't know whether you know. That's in real estate. Right? That's in real estate. So some people actually live on that. They buy, they fix it up, and they flip it. So, and they can, you can borrow. There's something else called a healer. You can borrow from your the equity you have in a house, use it to do something. The reason people do that is because the interest rate on mortgages is a little lower than going out to go borrow from, say, bank or something. So yes, you can do that.
So my second question would be, is it easier to go that route or do it, say, like a second finance, refinance?
Well, it depends on the interest rate you are going to get. Yeah, I mean, if you have a house that the interest on it is 2% today. You don't want to go borrow something, that's 5,000. It doesn't make 5%. It doesn't make sense. You understand? So you have to look at the interest rate and then you make your decision.
Antigozi, thank you so much for your presentation. They can stuff like this because education is very important and knowledge is power. My question is directed to you and a little older, a little more seasoned Nigerian Americans in the audience. One of the major challenges we have as Americans or Nigerians in America is you go spend lots of money, go build a house in Nigeria, which is a major expense, and you can't afford not to do so because you can't be living in your mansion or your comfortable home in America. The 2 weeks in Nigeria, you're living under, some Nkoro, for lack of a better word, right? But then, those kids, I just have one, even though born in Nigeria, he's not American, right? He's already American. They are not going home. So those properties you have in Nigeria, regardless of whatever you do, I'm sorry if like that I was in the waste, right? And as you just rightly pointed out, I'm sorry sir, I interrupted me. As you rightly pointed out, right, going home during retirement is a mistake because that's when you need medical immediate attention. So what becomes the advice that hoping you guys at more advanced age are looking at as a way to salvage that situation that we are younger ones can imbibe upon or take advantage of? What's the best way to address it? So the question is, we have this issue of, you have this home in Nigeria, you spend your money trying to get it comfortable, so you cannot really do anything because more of their kids going to take it.
Have a house in Nigeria. What am I saying? You spend all your money over there, and then over here, you are strapped. You don't have anything. And then they can either take a shoe or whether you want to believe it or not, here. So everywhere you come now, that's right. So here. We have a house in your room. So our next door neighbor, not here, in Houston, somewhere in Houston, that guy has that big house next to mine in the room. He has not been at home for the past 3 years. You know, the grass is over there, it is. My husband is complaining. He has been complaining that he's not keeping up his premises. But he has this big house, but he can't come back to come and look at it. That's why I'm saying, try and make yourself comfortable here first, because this is where you are. You don't know if you have your house here, because we don't have our mom here, we don't have our dad here, we don't have our since she can go back to the village. We don't have that here. So when we are falling, we are going all the way down. So make yourself comfortable here, and that's why and that's why I always say pay off your mortgage. Pay off your mortgage, because if you pay off your mortgage when things go bad, at least you have a roof over your head. You can go in, you can go back, sleep, and then even if you drink water or whatever, you are fine. But if you don't pay off your mortgage, things go bad, your house will be taken, and then you will be homeless.
I have to use this opportunity to thank Dr. Nocia for the presentation. ladies, the chogam doma, and then the chogam, but it's not wrong. Pascal, it's very important. And you know, Martha here, that we have to orient. And you know, one was over the vanish. Oh, you put down you. Like she said, we have one in Achitudemwa Estate. We've had it for 17 years. And we have one in the village. And you know, with big company, really, but I never hire one cash, they won't be interested to go home. That what she's saying is very important because don't worry, I have some few friends who are mature. I got my couple elderly, seasoned, retired, but not tired. But they spend 6 months at home. 6 months at home. During the winter, they're there. Because they are very hard here on our bones when we get older. So you won't expect me, although my God, but at that time I will take off. So I won't be babysitting in the winter.
Thank you.
I won't be in my house in the winter.
Thank you.
And I'm my medical aid.
Absolutely.
Do it that way, it will pay off and introduce the children.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes, I like the response. Myself, I like to go to Nigeria and feel very comfortable in my house. Look, I have a house to live. I like to feel comfortable everywhere. So, if you have the money, take care of yourself. Because everyone, yes. Baby. Yes, you're ready to roll. You wanna. It was a volunteer, feel comfortable. Why you are, go to here in Nigeria and do that.